Hi, hello. I welcome you all my Achievers 120. I'm your Tharun sir. Today, I'm back with the same grammar part which we have left. So consider this online session would be the part 2 of active and passive voice part 2. All right. So in the previous class, what we have learned? In the previous class, we have learned how to convert an active voice into passive voice for simple present sentences, for present continuous sentences, for present perfect sentences, and we have discussed that there will not be any passive voice for present perfect continuous tense. There will not be any passive form for present perfect continuous tense. All right. So today we are going to start and we are going to learn simple past, past continuous, past perfect. Because we don't have past perfect continuous tense, also we cannot convert this into passive voice. Okay. So let us see, students. You all know the fifth tense that we have here is simple past, and let's see how to convert an active voice sentence. For example, Valmiki wrote the Ramayana. Students, Valmiki wrote the Ramayana. So here, this is the subject, Valmiki, and wrote is V2, and the rest is object, the Ramayana. So hence, this is a simple past sentence. And how well we shall convert this active voice sentence into passive form. So you need not forget, students, we have 5 rules to follow. All right. The first rule we have so what is the first rule? We have to replace the subject to the object place and sub-object to the subject place. All right. So let me shift this. The Ramayana, which is in object place, takes the place of the subject. The Ramayana. All right. And next, Valmiki, I have to write here, which goes to the object place. Subject place I have shifted to object place, and object's place we have shifted to object place, subject place. Okay. So next, what is the rule that we have to do? Next, we have to shift this action verb, whatever the action verb that is present in active voice, we have to convert that into or turn that into V3, which is a signature rule, as I always say that. Okay, which is a signature rule. We have to write V3, which is signature rule, compulsory. All right. So V2 is wrote. So obviously, written is V3. Okay. So second rule also we have finished. Then what is the third rule? Auxiliary verb. What is the auxiliary verb which is well suited for simple past? Students, I must remind you, what is that, Am is are. Am is are. These were the auxiliary verbs used for simple present. But those are not suitable for the past because those auxiliaries are belongs only to present. But when it comes to simple past, the best and the well suited auxiliary verbs are supporting verbs or helping verbs are was and were. Was and were. Let's say the Ramayana is a singular, so therefore I have to use out of either of these two, which is was. Ramayana was. This is a suitable auxiliary verb used for simple past sentence. Okay, Ramayana was written by. Here, that is the fourth rule. We have to write suitable preposition. In many cases, when there is an object which receives the result of the subject, then obviously it has to be by. So preposition by is used in this case. So Valmiki wrote the Ramayana, which is in active state, turns to passive voice in this way. The Ramayana was written by Valmiki. Okay. Next, let us take consider second example. She accepted a gift. See, she accepted a gift. She accepted a gift, which is V2. Okay. In this sentence, we have to convert into passive voice, which is very easy. The first place, what we have to do? Subject we have to take care here, and the object has to take care of shifted into the subject's place. So shift she when goes to the object place, it turns to her. She, her is the object pronoun. Next, gift, a gift, a gift. I have written here. So first rule is done. Subject to object and object to subject. Next, what we have to do? Accepted, we have here is V2, right? But we have to convert that into V3. That is for sure. So I have to write what is the V3 form for accepted? Accepted. Right. Next, a gift is a singular one. What auxiliary we have to use here? We have two auxiliary verbs which supports the simple past, was or were. But for singulars, we have to use was, and for plural, we have to use what? Were. So therefore, we have to use a gift was accepted, and the fourth rule is by. So here, preposition I have used, a gift was accepted by her. So this is a way to convert a simple past sentence which is in active voice to passive voice form. Okay, so please note down or take a screenshot of this one, students, as we are running out of the time. Okay. Okay. So we have finished simple past. So now let's convert sixth one, which is past continuous And let us write one example here. Active voice example. Okay. Tharun was eating apples. Tharun was eating apples. Listen, students, I just wanted to remind you that when it comes to past continuous, forms, when we speak or in our communication or maybe in presenting a sentence while writing a notes, past continuous form may not be written solitary. You understand that? We never use this sentence while speaking or maybe writing. Why? Because past continuous is the only tense which is used with the help of simple past. Because when two actions occur at the same time in the past, the time taking action will be past continuous, and the other action which takes less time is simple past. Okay, you have to remind the same for the past perfect as well. But for our convenient and to know the rules and how to convert the active voice sentences into passive voice sentences, we got to do this solitary sentences. Understand? Okay. Tharun was eating apples. So the same way how we have used passive voice. What is the first rule? Subject to object and object to subject. Then here comes apples, and Tharun goes here in the objective place. So first rule is completed. What is the second rule? Signature rule. Signature rule is what? Eating. Eating is in V4, but absolutely we need V3 for writing passive voice sentence. So what is the V3 form for eat? Eat, ate, eaten. So I have to write here eaten. Okay, clear? Next, as we have ing here, we should not forget that we have ing here. Definitely for ing forms, we got to use being. Compulsory, we have to use being. So here comes second rule is done. What is the third rule? Suitable auxiliary verb. Apples. Apples, we have only two supporting verbs. One is was, the other one is were. Was is used for singular and were is used for plurals. Therefore, apples were being eaten. Okay, next. What is the last rule? We have to use the preposition. Suitable preposition is by. So, apples were being eaten by Tharun. Apples were being eaten by Tharun. This is how we do to convert an active voice sentence which is in past continuous to past continuous passive form. All right. So let's say one more example. Okay. SSC board was conducting the exams. SSC board was conducting the exams. SSC board was conducting the exams. So you know what to do when we have to convert active voice to passive voice. Very simple. First, we have to shift the subject to the object's place and object to the subject's place. First rule. So here we go. The exams. Okay. Next, SSC board goes here. SSC board. Okay. Next, second step is conducting. So how we have to do here? We have to do V3 form for conducting. So what is the V3 form for conducting? Conducted. Conducted. And you know it is ing there. So for ing forms, what we have to take? Being. So we have finished the second rule. Next, what is the third rule? AV. AV is what you know? Auxiliary verb, students. Auxiliary verbs. So what is auxiliary verb? We have to use exams, which is plural. So verb. And the last rule, what we have to apply? By. The exams were being conducted by SSC board. So this is how we do past continuous active voice to passive voice sentences. Please note down or else take a screenshot of this example. Students, I'm going to run this. Next, what is the next tense that we are going to do for past perfect? Okay, past perfect. So which is seventh number? Past perfect. Let's say some examples here. Active voice. Lincoln had abolished the slavery. Lincoln had abolished the slavery. So Lincoln is a subject, the slavery is a object, subject and object. So let's say how we have to do for this same. The same rule applies which we have been doing. The same rules we apply for this past perfect tense as well. Okay, how well? Let us see. Here goes the slavery. Okay, next. Lincoln. Okay. Next. What is that next step? Signature rule. Abolished. This is a V3. Okay. So we have some good tip here. Whatever there is in the perfect sentences in the active voice, the same repeats here because obviously in perfect forms we use V3. The same can be written here, but in addition to the V3, we have to add something. Like, you know, in continuous forms, we have used being, right? But in this scenario, we have used been. What is that? Be. Okay? The slavery be abolished. But in this sentence doesn't sound good, right? So what exactly we have to use? Same auxiliary verb here. Next is auxiliary verb, and here we have by. So listen, this is rule number 1. What is that rule number 1? I have written one over there, one over here. First step. What is the first step and first rule here? Subject placed in object place. Object placed in subject place. Fine. Done. Next rule. Signature rule. What is signature rule? We have to turn whatever the verb which is there in the active voice to passive voice. So what is that? V3. Yes, it happened to be the same because obviously it is V3 and here V3. Yes, the same we have to do. What is different from continuous? Continuous forms we use being, but in perfect forms we have to use being. What is that? This one. So here completed the second rule. Third rule, check here. Auxiliary verb. So what auxiliary verb we have to use? Avisa. Was verb? No, they are done here. Be forms are done. These are have forms. Okay, perfect sentences needs to be taking the help of have or has, which is in present perfect, but had for the past perfect. Therefore, I have taken had. This is rule 3. This is rule 2. So first rule completed, second rule completed, third rule completed, and the last rule which we have here is preposition. And this is what I have done. Nothing great. So this is how it matters with the past perfect forms. Okay. Next example, let's see, so that you can understand better. The students had done the homework. The students had done the homework. This is an active voice sentence. So let us see. Subject to object and object to subject. So first we got to use the homework. And next, here we have to take the students. Next, had done. Here, this is a form. We are lucky that I said already, in the perfect forms, we repeat the same because obviously it is V3. And in the passive forms, we do prefer writing only V3. So I'll write the same here, done. But in addition to V3, what we have to add for the perfect forms? This one. Been. Okay? Been. Finished. And next, what is the next step? Active word, like AV. AV is what? Auxiliary verb. Had. Okay? Next, last is but. So, the homework had been done by the students. The students had done the homework. So, you know what, students? This is a way of converting active voice sentences into passive voice sentences for the past time element. The previous class we have dealt and we discussed examples related to the present forms. Today, past forms. And what about the next? 8th tense, past perfect continuous tense. We don't have any passive voice for past perfect continuous tenses. You understand that? For present perfect continuous tense, no passive voice. For past perfect continuous tense, no passive voice. Till then, you just note these examples. Let us go to the future. I'll give 1 minute of time so that you can note down, or maybe you can take a screenshot, students. Okay, here we go. As we don't have past perfect continuous tense, passive voice, let us go learning now simple future. Okay, simple future. Examples like he will teach me. He will teach me. He will teach me. See, let's see. This is a perfect example, like subject plus will or shall plus V1 and me. This is entirely different, students. We don't have to go with the same rules here. Okay. A simple logical rule is applied for this simple future. I'm going to rub these rules and all. First thing, the rule for the same in continuous, like subject to object, object to subject, he. Okay, and you know object place me becomes, when it comes to subject place, I. Okay, teach is there, so obviously we have to write V3. Without V3 we cannot do passive voice. And subject to object, object to subject, this is quite common. These two rules are permanently the same. All right, next, what shall be done? He will teach me. So will remains the same. Will remains the same. And here the preposition remains the same. I will taught by him. Do you feel like it is a complete sentence? No. We have to add be form. We have to add be form. The next or the rest of the sentence is the same. Only difference here we have done is like adding the be. Be. I will be taught by him. I will be taught by him. Just look at the statement clearly, students. Clear? Next, let us say one more example. So what I have written here, the Prime Minister will solve the issues. Subject is The Prime Minister will or shall solve V1 the issues. Okay. So in any case, what I said just now, subject to object replacement is must and should. So obviously I have to write for the active voice here and passive voice the issues. All right. Next, the Prime Minister. In the simple future, what is different from other tenses? Just adding B, as I told you just now. So solve, which is V1, and obviously when it comes to the passive form, it becomes V3, solved. Okay. Next will be here and here by. These are quite common. What we have to add further? We have to add further B. That's all. This is how the conversion of simple future sentences which are there in the active voice can be converted to passive voice. The issues will be solved by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister will solve the issues. The issues will be. I just added B here and I turned the verb form into V3, without which we cannot say this sentence exists in passive form. V3 is the only sentence, V3 is the only word by which we can say this is perfectly passive form. So V3 by additional support and subject to object, object to subject. Understood? Simple future. These are the perfect examples, students. Like, subject plus will or shall plus V1 plus object. You know the formula of, like, the structure of writing a simple future sentence, which is an active voice, and I am trying to convert that into passive. And you know what? Like present, perfect, continuous tense, we don't have passive voice. Next, past perfect continuous tense, we don't have passive voice. Now you know what, students? The next tense, which is the 10th tense. After simple future, what is the tense? Future continuous tense. Future continuous tense, we don't have any passive form for that. So now, what we have to do? Now we have to do the 11th tense, which is future perfect. Future perfect. So let me rub on the whiteboard. I will write something on the board. Please note down before we go to the 11th tense. I'll write something here. You just have to focus and you have to note down. Okay. So 4th tense. What is that? Present perfect continuous. We don't have passive voice. We don't have any passive voice. Okay. So next, 5th one, past perfect continuous tense. Same. We don't have passive voice. We don't have passive voice for past perfect continuous tense, and the number for this is 5th simple, past, 6th and 7th. Okay. Now just now I said you, like, we don't have the passive voice form for future continuous tense, which is 11th one. PV is what you know, passive form. There is no passive form for present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future continuous, and also students 14th one. Future perfect continuous. But this also, we don't have any passive voice. Okay, you do remember this one. For these four cases, for these four tenses, we don't have any passive voice, no passive voice forms for these four tenses. Note down or take a screenshot, students. Note down or take a screenshot. Before going to learn this future perfect. Clear? Sorry. 11th one. Future perfect active voice. Example. Future perfect example, students. We shall have cleared the doubts. We shall have cleared the doubts. This is the absolute example for future perfect. Subject shall plus have plus cleared, which is V3, the doubts. So same we got to apply here. Subject to object and object to subject. The doubts, okay, and we us. No doubt, subject to object and object to subject. Next, same, which is V3, and obviously in the perfect forms we do find V3 words again. So next, B we have to apply for perfect forms. Definitely it has to be be. For continuous forms, it has to be being. For simple forms, am, is, are in the present, was, were in the past. Never forget this. So I have first written being. Yes, with this signature rule, I have written, and everything will be same. So obviously there will not be being, same. The doubts shall have been cleared by us. Simple but logical. What I have used only been. For the simple future, I have applied being. But here, for the perfect forms, in the present form also I have used been. For the past forms I have used been. And now future form also we have used been. Okay, students, I'll give you one more example and let me finish off this session. So last example, please. India will have won the match. India will have won the match. So now first what we have to do, subject to object and object to subject. So India goes here. And the match, I have to write here, students. The first rule is finished. Then what is the second rule? Definitely it had to be 1, which is B3. You know, all of you. Without B3, we cannot say this is in passive voice. And you know what? As this is a perfect form, definitely I have to use be. Clear? And rest of that, I will write the same here. As it is, the match will have been won by India. So this is how we have to turn an active voice sentence for the different tenses, and except 4 tenses, we have all the passive voice learned in the first session, and this is the second part 2 session of active voice and passive voice. And thank you for this wonderful session, students. I hope it must have hopeful and a great class session for you, I think, and these are work for your annual examination. All right, keep doing, keep practicing. Some more examples, and if you have any doubts, or you can WhatsApp me. Thank you so much. Bye.